from the booth, the Telegraph's Tom King and former Nashua coach Bill Hardy.
And hello everyone, happy Thanksgiving to you for the first annual North-South Thanksgiving Day football game. I'm Tom King, and with me, no, it's not the Big Mac, Tom McDonald, my usual partner. It's the Big Bill. It's Coach Bill Hardy, the former national football coach, joining me in the booth for this, the first annual North-South Turkey Bowl game. The kickoff goes to the north. It's picked up in the end zone by Nate Forsythe, and he brings it out to about the 8-yard line. And Billy, we're underway, and it's a little different feel to the day, but it's a good feeling here today at Stella Stadium.
Tommy, when I talked to you earlier in the week about this possibly being like an alumni atmosphere, two teams of kids that have played together, then I went to practice and found out a very different story, that these two teams don't like each other very much, and
really,
we're ready to have a pretty good football game today.
Well, now I guess they called it a touchback, which I thought, because he did take a step backwards in the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So a break for North, as they are going to start today. Chris Ferreter, as South is going to start Chris Ferreter, quarterback. North is going to start Eric Congdon. We've seen a lot of different quarterbacks for these two teams this year, Billy.
Yeah, that's been the problem position for both of these clubs. Both these kids, though, Chris Ferreter and Eric Congdon, are going to do a good job today. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for this, and we look forward to a good ball game.
Keith LeBrecq on the carry for Nashua North. He goes wide, and he gets about maybe a half a yard to the 21-yard line. We'll call it second down and a long 9 for the Titans of North High School.
You'll see the Titans, Tom, be mostly, for the most part, in a run set, especially this deep in their own end. That part of the game has come easier to them.
Second down and 9. And Congdon is going to roll out, and he's going to get about 2 or 3 yards. What do you tell your quarterbacks, Billy, when you were coaching, when they try to do a rollout? Do they try the misdirection or the fake, or do you want them to just take off with the football?
Well, that might have been a little broken play there, actually, Tom. We'd like to do multiple fakes. We like to ball fake, hand ride, and then get on your horse and get out of there. Try to get some vision downfield.
3rd and 7 now at the 23-yard line.
In a power eye set.
A lot of running of the football today, we anticipate. And a quick dive handoff, and across the 30, the 40, the 50. He could go all the way down the field. It's going to be a North touchdown.
It's Bisson, Tom.
Lance Bisson, number 21. They said to watch out for him before today's game, and boy, were they right. Bisson all the way down the sidelines. And Billy, there just was nothing out there on that left side. Bisson, once he got past the first 2 points of attack, was gone.
Yeah, just a little misdirection in the backfield out of a power eye set, so you're thinking run all the way when they're in that running set, but well blocked at the point of attack and well blocked downfield. And Lance Bisson has the athletic ability to separate from the secondary, and he did just then.
And the point after by Murillo Barretta is good, and there's a soccer name for you. The score with 10:27 left in the first quarter. We just barely started. It's North 7, South nothing. And we'll take a timeout here and be back to Stella Stadium right after this. And welcome back to Stella Stadium, everyone. Tom King along with Bill Hardy. 7-0 in favor of Nashua North, and we just saw a short squib kick taken by the short man, Ryan Fitzgerald, and he didn't have too far to go. But the idea behind that, was that a squib kick, Billy, or just trying to get it to one of the up men, or a little surprised because it gives South great field position, 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. And the handoff, Cowrie was in motion, and they hand it off to Josh Provost, and Provost gets across the 44, just outside the 44-yard line, a pickup of 2 yards.
Tommy, offensively, the South Ball Club here, their go-to kid has been Paul Calorie all year long. He got over 1,000 yards. Chris Ferreter starting at quarterback right now. According to Coach Knight, we're going to see multiple people at quarterback today.
Billy, what about Cowrie? Did you see him when he was down in the junior high level when you were coaching? Was he a known quantity at that point?
After this play, I'll go over that with you, Tom.
Provost again across the 45, barrels his way out to the 49-yard line.
Paul
Good
Calorie,
run, about 4 yards.
Sorry, Tom. Paul Calorie has been a highly decorated halfback in the Pop Warner system, all coming up through the system. Last year as a sophomore, he chose to stay at the Pop Warner level. He's kept his weight down, and he's still in the off season has to put some of that weight, put some weight on to be effective in Division I.
Cowrie in motion, gets the handoff, cuts to his right across the 50, across the 45 to the 30, across the 25, fumbles the football, and they're all scrambling. We'll have to see who gets it. Cowrie fumbled it at about the 28-yard line, and the Titans say they have it. We'll wait and see, and they do. A break for Nashua North as Cowrie was looking as though he was on his way to a big run, and the ball, Billy, it looked like he just dropped it.
Yeah, I think, you know, sometimes third and fourth efforts, Tommy, get you in more trouble than they're worth. He had a nice 20-plus yard gain going, and I agree with you. I think the ball just slid out of his hand.
And it's going to be at the 19. North recovers. So South with a fumble lost, and North left first and 10 at the 19. Tough break for Cowrie, but you saw what he can do on that one play on the positive side.
48.
And now slipping across the 20 and out all the way to the 26-yard line. And I'm looking for that number.
I think that might be a young freshman.
It might be, because he's not on the roster, number 48.
I'll try to dig through my notes and see if I can come up with it. I believe it might be a young man named Tendai Chifundi that Jason was possibly looking at in this ball game.
Well, he got 6. And now the handoff goes inside this time, and not much there.
Tommy.
And another number I don't have, 33.
Tommy Mulcahy, starting defensive end, and plays sometime at fullback, Tom. Only a junior, but a good-sized junior.
Third and 2 at the 27. And going wide is going to be Congdon. Congdon across the 40, drops the ball but out of bounds at the 45-yard line. There's that run again with the quarterback going to his left.
Just a little naked bootleg, running 3 setbacks into the line of scrimmage. Someone out there lost contain for South, and Eric Congdon picks up a first down.
First down for Congdon as he gets all the way out to the 46, a gain of 18 on that run. First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Full house backfield. And across the 47-yard line is Bisson. Bisson this time inside was contained.
Nashua North continues to stay in that double tight end alignment, power eye setup. A little misdirection inside, but running the ball between the tackles, and it's been successful. They're moving the chains, and that's the name of this game.
2nd and 8 at the 47-yard line. Bisson now 2 carries, 79 yards. Not a bad start to your Thanksgiving morning. And number 48 again is across the 50-yard line into South territory, all the way down the 47-yard line. His last name again, Billy?
Chipfunde, I believe, Tom. Chipfunde. I saw him at practice the other day, and I didn't know much about him, but I believe he's only a freshman.
Well, he got 6 yards on that carry. He's a good-looking freshman. 3rd and 2 at the South 47 for North.
This is Bisson.
Oh, look at that cut wide. Boy, he just takes off, and no doubt about where he was going. He knew exactly where to run. Gets across the 40 for a first down. That's a confident run, Bill. He just took off and didn't hesitate at all.
He wants the football in his hands. He comes from some pretty good bloodlines. Saul Bisson, his older brother, played here and had 2 great years at Nashua High School. And we see Coach Neville has called a timeout. He's going to give a little wake-up call to the Nashua South Panthers.
So there's a timeout on the field, and let's take it. Let's take a timeout, Gordon, and we'll take Gordon Jackson, our producer, with 6:24 left in the first quarter. The score: North 7, South nothing. Be back right after. It's very dark here at Stellos. It's one of those weather-changing days where a front is coming through and the temperature is up right now, but the clouds are in. Very dark here at the stadium, and it's offside, illegal procedure against North, man in motion, and it'll be a 5-yard penalty. That's the first flag of the day. It'll now be 2nd and 10, all the way back to the 39-yard line, or 2nd and 11 actually. And now the whistle blows again, and now they're back and set. Condon will keep it. Looks like he's going to try to run with it, but he's got nowhere to go. Cuts inside, drops the ball, and it looks like the South has recovered it. Looks like number 81 for Nashua South, that's Steve Paquin, got the fumble recovery, and again, we've had 2 fumbles where neither player has been hit because Condon just dropped that ball.
Yeah, and fundamentally a mistake there, not carrying the ball in the outside hand, and again, you know, if you're going to play this power football like they're playing, you got to hold on to the ball.
So now for the Panthers, 1st and 10 at the 41. And on the ball is Nate Boyer with the carry, but he doesn't have any room to go. It'll be tackled by Brad Masur. It'll be 2nd down now. Billy, what's your opinion of these 2 teams defensively? You're an offensive guy, so I'm putting you to the test now.
Yeah, you sure are. I think 11 guys play on defense, but I'm not sure. And both Al Neville and Jason Roby, I'll tell you this, they play similar defenses. Press defense, uptight, trying to make things happen in the backfield.
Here goes Cowrie. He's making something happen in the forefield. He's going to go all the way. Cowrie, 5-10 touchdown. I don't see any flags. And it's a touchdown for Paul Cowrie. So we've got 2 long runs, 1 for each school. That one for Cowrie, a 59-yard run. Boy, he makes things happen. Wow.
I know Scott was trying to use Cowrie as a decoy early on in the game, Tom, but sooner or later you got to give it to your guy that's made things happen for you all year long, and you can see what he can do. Great vision and great ability to set up blocks.
High snap, but the kick is down, the kick is up, and it's good.
Yeah, pulled down very nicely by senior Chris Ferreter.
And who was that on the kick? Was that Boyer?
Nate Boyer's been kicking for them most of the year. Drew Blask is a young man that's a senior that also does their punting duties, but also did some kick duties. They bring out Jared Barboza, I believe, the soccer player, to do their deep kicking, and when they break it back onto the field, we'll see who's gonna kick off for South.
Let's take a timeout here. We'll be back. The score: it's Nashua North 7, Nashua South 7. Back at Stellos in a moment. Back at Stellos Stadium, everybody. Tom King along with Bill Hardy. 7-7 the score. North with a 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. A misdirection handoff.
Billy Monson, I believe, Tom,
the fullback.
On the carry. Been playing fullback here for 3 years. Had a great run last year in the semifinals against Manchester Memorial, which brought Nashua to the championship game against Central. A tough kid. Has had his share of nicks and dings, but I'm glad to see him in the lineup today.
One kid, the first kid Scott Knight mentioned, is saying somebody that he was afraid could break out today.
Nice. Randy Dabney on a nice tackle there from shooting in from the weak side linebacker position to stop, I believe, Serge Villanova, and well played.
Jason Posnick gets a yard. You're not supposed to care about the defense, remember?
Yeah. If I had Al Neville sitting here next to me, I wouldn't.
No, that's for sure. 3rd and 4 at the 29. The defensive guru of Nashua, Al Neville. And another tiny back, Brad Masur gets the handoff, cuts in through, and he's got a first down. We have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players carry the ball for Nashua North, and we're only 3 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
And they're moving the change. They're staying in that tight line. Here he is in the T. I'm sorry, he's in a power I. Double tights.
1st and 10 at the 39. Congdon with a quick handoff inside. Across the 40 to the 43-yard line is Monson.
Right.
Quick fullback dive.
Yeah, and Billy with the body lean and the stature of Billy Monson, you get him the ball at the line of scrimmage, he's guaranteed 3 or 4 yards upfield just on the strength of that young man. And Scott Knight's right, he's going to have to take him away first.
2nd and 6 at the 43. 2 big plays, 2 runs, one by Cowrie, one by Bisson, and we're tied at 7. That'll go to Filano.
Second back through, Serge Filano following Billy Monson. Brad Masur faking away. And boy, Tom, I tell you what, you look at both of these rosters, and you see some young football players playing in this game today. I think both of these squads are future is very bright for both of them. You and I had talked early in the week about what's ahead and what's in the future for these teams. South and North, could very well contend. I think right now, because of the quarterbacking situation at South, they have a little better shot at contending next year for a playoff position. But I wouldn't put it past Jason Roby to get this thing rocking and rolling. He's a young man that's waited for this position and has done an outstanding job with his other head coaching positions in the track program at Nashua High. And I think the Titans have a bright future here. They really have some good-looking young kids in this lineup.
Jason's one of those guys, when you talk to him, you just know he's got head coach written all over him.
Yeah, he does. He
knew that as an assistant when you dealt with him, and it was great to see that he got the job at Nashua North. I'm sure you were very happy for him.
Very happy that he brought back some of our ex-players to help him on his staff too.
3rd and 4 at the 45-yard line after a timeout by North. Filano in motion, Bisson with the handoff, and he takes across the 50, and it looks like he's got a first down. That'll be the 4th first down for North in this football game.
Just straight ahead again.
Boy, what are they doing today that they weren't able to do opening night, because they didn't really have much of an offense that night?
Well, I think through the preseason, they were experimenting with different offenses, and they've settled on, because of the limitations of the quarterbacking position, Tom, they're getting the ball out of his hands to the backs as quick as they can.
Yeah, no surprise we haven't seen a pass today, and we probably won't see too many, if at all. And that was Bisson again, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he gets a yard to the 49. Well, they're going to spot it back at the 50. They don't give him the forward progress.
Yeah, knee down, and in high school football, that's an automatic dead ball. And I'll tell you what, this being at practice the other day with this North team, this offensive line is big, and they're shooting right now, and they're leaning on the South defense.
They have size. South with 8 in the box. Condon wide, and he gets down to about the 47.
Very well played by his best friend, Brandon Lilly, a young man that's had a tough week here at Nashua High, loss of a stepbrother, Nick Jennings, out of Hollis Brookline, and this kid's, I'm sure he's dedicated this game to his best friend, and what a wonderful young man Brandon Lilly is. Probably headed for Colby College next year, and been a terrific captain for Scott Knight.
2 yards on the carry by Condon. It'll be 3rd and 8 at the 48-yard line. Go now. Oh, he's got some running room. across the 40, all the way down to the 30-yard line. Wow, what a run.
Tommy spread them out with the formation, went to a slot split, and just made Nashua respect the outside game, and it opened up on the inside, running behind again. Some big kids up front. Dave Duran and Matt Kelly, two giant offensive tackles, and we're getting some mileage out of those kids right now.
Are they ever? First and 10 to 30. You can hear the words adjustments already in the making for halftime for Nashua South against this North running game. First and 10 at the 30-yard line. A quick dive head off to Munson again. Across the 25. Oh. Wow. Stays on his feet. He gets all the way down to the 21-yard line. This is an impressive drive, all on the ground by Nashua North.
Billy would like to end his high school career with a great day, and he looks like he showed up to play some football today.
And that'll do it for the first quarter, folks. The score after one, it's North 7, South 7 here at Stello Stadium. We'll be back with the first annual North-South Thanksgiving Day game, the final three quarters, right after this. And welcome back, everybody, to Stello Stadium. Tom King along with Bill Hardy. North 7, South 7. Old-fashioned standoff in the first quarter. Two long runs, a 49-yard touchdown run by Paul Cowrie. That matched an earlier 77-yard run by Lance Bisson, and both teams have fumbles for turnovers. But North has got the ball, 2nd and 2 at the 22-yard line. Driving. Bisson will run wide to the right. Cuts across the 15, all the way down to the 10. It's another first down for the Titans.
Moving Lance Bisson around, that time out of the fullback position, Tom. Just took it on a straight handoff and went back to the weak side. Got a great block over here from Scott O'Neill that freed him up.
That gives him 100 yards on 6 carries on the day, a gain of 12. It will be 1st and goal. They cannot get a first down without scoring a touchdown. And we've got a timeout, looks like. See if it's an official. No, timeout South. So Al Neville saw something defensively that he wanted changed, and they called timeout. Now, what does Al tell these guys, Billy, when he runs out into the field and talks to them?
Well, we can't say that on the air.
I knew you'd say that.
Al Neville is probably one of the best game coaches that I've ever worked with. He and Paul Duquette, the now retired Paul Duquette, have I've never seen guys who could watch a game and tell you exactly what's happening to them as the game's going on. I needed to watch film to do that. These guys could do that as the game goes on, and he'll make some adjustments here. He'll probably go to a goal line look right now and match that power eye two tight end alignment that North is throwing at them right now.
He's going to make a change. Dabney out, and who comes in? Number 18. He wants another defensive back, it looks like, coming in. Mark Bollinger. First and goal. And Chifunde across the 8 down to the 7. So they want some speed. North goes with some speed in there, and Chifunde goes wide and gets down to the 8. So it looked like Neville countered correctly. He wanted a faster player in there in the secondary and was able to make that play and stop that play, although they do gain 4 yards.
Down this close to the goal line, if you're going to get in those power eye alignments, pre-snap alignments, then a good-looking play, either option or reach sweep, and that case they went with the reach sweep.
Second and goal from the 6. Congdon will run wide to the right on the keeper. He's going to dive, and he's going to be in for the end zone. Touchdown, Nashua North.
Eric Congdon, a junior quarterback, just following all 3 backs to the right side. Matt Kelly and Scott O'Neill with a good pin block down inside, and there was not much containment outside. Billy Monson with a good block on the corner, and that allowed Eric Congdon to jump into the end zone. 13-7 North.
And Murillo Beretta with the extra point. It is up, and it is good.
Man, we got ourselves a ball game, Mr. King.
14-7. I thought this might be all the scoring we'd see all day with 3 touchdowns combined, but not the case. And that was an impressive drive. I will count up the plays for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plays, 77 yards. That is quite the drive for Nashua North. That is old-fashioned Buzz Harvey, Ken Parody.
Right.
Not really Bill Hardy playing football.
I'm getting sick up here watching this. My God.
Hasn't been a ball in the air yet, Coach.
Someone wake me up. Mary, come get me right now. This is awful. I think Jason Roby, in the 2+ weeks that he had to prepare for this game, maybe takes a look at the season length.
Right.
Type of play call they made, and has settled in on this power eye attack against South.
It looks that way. Bisson, a 77-yard run, a quick score. Cowrie, a 49-yard run, and then the long drive with the touchdown by Condon, and now picking it up is Prevost. Prevost across the 30 on a short kick. The kickoffs really haven't been that deep for North. He gets it out to the 37-yard line.
I watched that one time, and it looks like they may be a little afraid of the deep threat for the Purple Panthers. That one.
Cowrie back there.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he's got the ability to make you miss, and anytime a kid has that ability, you got to keep the ball out of his hands.
Well, he certainly has proven that today. He's got a 49-yard run for a touchdown. It looked like he was going in for another one with a 23-yarder earlier in the game, and he fumbled the ball. 1st and 10 to 37. Cutting across the 40-yard line and down to the 42-yard line.
Joey Lopez, junior tailback on a little wingback trap. Again, using Calorie as a decoy, letting him go through in this torpedo motion and then giving the ball back to Joe Lopez coming back this way. A good-looking play. You pick up 5 on that play, that's a good run.
Gain of 5, as Billy said. It's 2nd down and 5 at the 42-yard line.
Empty backfield and a bubble screen.
You know, 2 things on that play. It looked like Cowrie moved early, and the other one was they were very lucky that ball was thrown forward because it looked like the setback was behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and luckily it went out of bounds.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised the officials didn't spot it there because it did look backwards. You work on that. I watched them work on that play during the week. Tough play for a high school quarterback to make sometimes.
Chris Ferreter still the quarterback for Nashua South. And Cowrie now with the ball at the 40. Tries to look for an opening. Gets across the 50. Not a bad job. He gets himself a 1st down with that run because Cowrie looked like he didn't have anywhere to go, and he found something.
Almost a zone-looking play to Calorie where he runs laterally looking for an opening, and boy, he gets through it in a hurry, Tom. He's a good back.
He sure is. 1st and 10 at the 49. 9:46 to play in the 2nd quarter, in the 1st half, actually. And it's a 14-7 North lead. 1st and 10 at the North 49-yard line. Lopez on the setback takes the pitch, and he is just stacked up. And it looked like 54 for Nashua North getting over there. Would have been Ben Freeland.
Benny Freeland.
Freeland just, boy, he was right there. He read the play perfectly.
Benny Freeland, starting linebacker last year with the combined schools, played in that championship game, and a captain of this Nashua North squad. He's a good football player. Goes both ways.
2nd down and 11. The ball at the 50-yard line. Condon's got the football. He's going to try to throw it. There you go, Mr. Hardy, and the ball is incomplete.
Well, I like it. I like the call.
That was Ferreter. I'm sorry, Chris Ferreter.
You had everybody inside. A little waggle action comes out here. Looking for his tight end, Brett Wilcox. Just a little overthrown by.
From the Hardy Aylward era, waggle.
Oh, waggle.
There it is.
Hey, 1st down, automatic. We're waggling.
That's the favorite word that I always heard.
Well.
3rd down and 11. Looks like Cowrie should probably get the football here. He is on the field. He's set back to the left. Man goes in motion. Cowrie does get the handoff, and he's stripped and dropped, and the ball is loose. Let's see, and the Titans have it?
They do.
They do. Wow, 2 fumbles for Cowrie on the day.
Yeah, again, wing-back trap. Showing a little misdirection to Joey Lopez, trying to come back to Paul Cowrie. Too much penetration by the North defense, really, and ball ripped out of his hands before he could get it tucked away.
All right, 1st and 10 at the 48 for the North. 8:49 to play in the first half, and boy, if they can keep the ball, I would be surprised to see them run it for 5 minutes if they can do it. Very simple offense, Billy, that they seem to be using.
Yeah, nothing wrong with simplicity, that's for sure. Serge Filano.
Filano gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, a little cross buck series out of the power eye, and I think you'll start to see Al Neville jam that middle a little bit with his down people and take away that. We'll see.
Well, he's added to the secondary. They're not right up on the box anymore like they were.
No, he's split now. He's got a flanker split. And pro formation. Trap.
Johnson on a quick dive. It's down to the 43-yard line. You're right, the senior's having himself a good football game.
Yeah.
It's about 5 yards.
Nice little series of play called by Bruce Bradshaw, the offensive coordinator for North here. He's settled in on this power eye attack, but when he goes to the spreads, he's still going where he's had success, and that's between the 2 tackles. And Benny Freeland, Chris Chaucer, and Tyson Forsyth, the 3 guys in the middle, opening some stuff up.
3rd and about, called a short 5 at the 43. 14-7, North in the lead. They have the football. Bisson, and this time he is stacked up. Great play there. Crowding the middle was Ryan Flynn, the senior. A nice tackle. Bisson maybe gets a yard, and that's it.
Yeah, well played by the Nashua defense. Again, power eye attack, blast series. We're just going to run all 3 backs into the same hole, but Nashua's there to meet it. Nashua South, excuse me, is there to meet it, and we're in a punt situation.
So they made the adjustment to the inside run, and that kind of stalls this drive for North. Good job, as you said. You expected Neville to make an adjustment, and he did.
Tom, this is the young freshman, Billy Ferreter, in the ball game now for South, the quarterback, Chris's younger brother, and first play from scrimmage, they must have confidence in him because they put the ball right in his hands, and he picks up 8 yards.
You're right, he gets 8 yards. Now they had to get this offense jump-started because they can't just depend on Cowrie. And there's a flag on the play. All the way back, if you can see it, maybe it's out of your screen. It's on the upper right-hand corner. You see the referee, he just picked it up, and now he's going over to the sideline. We're waiting to see what the call is.
Well, the emotion.
Motion play, yeah.
Billy comes in the ball game,
and he's
maybe
deep back set, not where a quarterback
exactly
is.
And he's maybe rushed that a little bit. You got to be set for a second in high school football, and I think he just kind of hurried the team up to the line of scrimmage and jumped the gun a little bit.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 39. Now he is still in the shotgun. High snap at the handoff to Cowrie. He's across the 40 and now out to the 44-yard line. So they contain Cowrie. I don't think you're ever going to stop Cowrie from getting positive yards, but they hold him to 5.
And the kid that's had the big runs on the other side of the ball, Lance Bisson, comes up with a nice tackle. Was being blocked out there by the fullback, but managed to fight him off and make a nice tackle.
He gets the 5 back, 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line. 5:52 to play here in the first half. 14-7, the Titans lead the Panthers.
Cowrie stays in the shotgun, stays in a split alignment. Option.
Uh-oh, this looks like a busted play, and Lopez is going to try to make something out of it. Doesn't do a bad job to get back to the line of scrimmage We talked about how North is keeping it simple, Bill, and on that side, South just went the opposite way. It looked like it was a little bit too much for their players to kind of handle on that play.
That looked like Chelmsford Center, to tell you the truth. Everybody banging into one another, trying to get to the same spots. But Joey Lopez does make a nice play out of something, decide to change his mind, and gets it back within earshot of the line of scrimmage. Again, maybe, I agree with you, Tom, maybe asking the young freshman to do a little too much right now, but 2+ weeks, and Billy playing that position quite a lot during those 2 weeks, I know Scott has a lot of confidence in him.
They take a time out of the field. Let's keep it right here. We talked earlier, Bill, off camera, off the air, about how both teams were flooding the box. Actually, all right, well, let's see. They're going to leave the field. We'll stay here now. We have a little bit different strategies being employed by these teams. I mean, they were tight in the box, and now they're starting to loosen up on defense a little bit.
Well, you have to respect the splits that Bruce Bradshaw has got North going to, and that opened up some stuff. Both these coaches, both Jason Roby and Al Neville, both defensive guys in their respective teams, play a very similar defense. They like to be aggressive. They like to play man on the corners. They even play man some with the safety, and they put 9 guys up in that box sometimes and almost dare you to throw the football.
Shotgun again for Ferreter, Billy Ferreter. 3rd and 12. He's going to throw the football, and it's complete.
It's Stevie Paquin.
Yeah, to Paquin, but it's going to be far short of a first down. Gain of about 4 on the play.
A curl pass out of the shotgun, had nice protection, steps up. Billy delivers the ball very nicely.
4th and 10 from the 44. Punt is a good one. Kind of rolling. It's going to be down at the 31-yard line. North will take over 1st and 10. 4:36 to play here in the first half. They lead at 14-7. Their goal will be to keep the football for the rest of the half.
Yeah, and I believe South gets the football to start the second half. So right now they'd be content going into halftime down by 1 touchdown, but getting the ball to start the second half. Then they'll make some good adjustments at halftime with the offense.
Thing is, though, if either of these two teams fall behind by more than a touchdown, it's going to be tough to come back because they don't really throw the ball that much. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. And Chipfundy is on the program. If you're looking for his name, Tendai Chipfundy, he's number 20 on their program, but he's 48 in uniform today.
He's quick. He of their back so far, he has shown the most explosion out of the backfield. I know Jason talked to me a little bit about him at practice the other day. He really, really likes this kid.
Oh, he's a track guy. He likes speed.
A little split here. Twins in the Pro I.
Love this football talk. Monson on the dive, and he gets across the 35 to the 36.
Again, Bruce staying within what he feels he can do, showing him a little pre-snap formation that's trying to spread that defense out a little bit, yet comes back inside to Billy Monson on a fullback trap. And I think Scott and Al both said that was the play and the player that they had to take away first. And they did a pretty good job on that play. 3rd
and 5 at the 36-yard line. Twins being 2 backs set on one side and 2 backs on the other side, correct?
Twins would be to a single side. 2 receivers stacked or outside with each other. That's right. Back to the power ride, double tight end.
Fake handoff. Bisson now has a hole. He breaks a tackle and he gets across the 40 to the 44. It's a first down for Nashua North.
Boy, just a solid run by Lance Bisson, saying, you know, I'm not going to let one defender take me down. And took him on right at about the first down marker, and with that good body lean, gets the first down, keeps the drive alive.
8 carries for 109 yards for a senior. Well, you wish he was coming back, don't you? Because he hadn't really played football that much until this year, correct?
That's correct. He, even though his family full of football players, he was up at Merrimack High School his sophomore year, and chose not to play last year as a junior. That's a shame. I think his brother Saul had something to do with him playing, saying, hey, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, pal. You know, why don't you go out there and see what happens? He started for them, I know, as a corner all year long. I don't know how much offensive play time he has had, but he's a good back.
Chifunde gets 2, 2nd and 8 from the 46. Munson on the dive, but this time they stack him up, but he does a good job to bounce to the outside. There, look at him fight for that yardage all the way across the 50 to the 48.
I tell you what, that Tommy, that's weight room right there.
Yeah,
that's
it
a
is.
Kid that's
yeah,
totally dedicated in the off season to making himself a better football player, and leg drive and power. And I'm playing my last football game. That's a combination of all three of those. Billy Munson playing very well today.
1:45 to play here in the first half.
Wow, this is screamed by.
They are going to run this clock out, I would imagine. 3rd and 2. The ball at the 48 of South. Big play here. Condon on a fake. Now he's in trouble, and he's going to be brought down.
You know, you're not going to fake Al Neville's defense out very often. He is an old school, stay-at-home defensive coach, and those kids are, you've been through a season of misdirection with all the Delaware wing T that's run around this state. Those kids know how to stay home, and they're not going to get fooled by that type of naked bootleg play.
1:03 to play first half. Congdon loses 2. Ricky McQuaid was the man who made the stop. And now the Titans are back to punt. Cowrie is deep for Nashua. We got a flag down. Looks like they're going to have to back it up some more.
That was a fake punt, Tom. He had that call. That ball was short snap to Kendall Reyes, and boy, that might have had something written all over it. But now they're going to march back, and I've never seen a coach call a fake punt twice in a row. So,
you mean
although I wanted to.
Elwood never did that? Come on.
We practiced it, but we never called it.
So it's 4th and 7. The ball will be back to the 44. And the Titans will punt again. Cowrie deep back at his own 26. And this time they try to kick it away from him. That's a nice punt by Munson. Bounces at the 18-yard line. That's going to roll all the way down to the 5-yard line with 21 seconds left to play in this half.
Smart decision by Paul Callery.
Don't touch the football.
On the first hop, you know, if that ball doesn't bounce favorably to you, get away from it. Smart football player. 19 seconds left to go in the half. I'll guarantee you they're going to kneel down at the 5-yard line.
That's a 51-yard punt by Billy Munson. That's not a bad kick.
Boy, he's a very strong young man, and he.
Well, you can see the leg strength in his kick.
Yeah, he's.
19 seconds left in the first half. 14-7 in favor of Nashua North. There's a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back with the final play of the first half right after this. And we're back at Stellos. While we were gone, number 33 on the carry for Nashua, Josh Prevost for Nashua South, gets across the 5 to the 9-yard line. He got about 3 yards on the play. That'll do it for the first half, folks. It's been a good one. It's been a very good one, and I'll tell you who the Rookie of the Year is. It's Bill Hardy as your analyst, because he's done a great job. Here at halftime, the score, it is Nashua North 14, Nashua South 7. We'll be back with the second half right after these messages. With the coach, Bill Hardy. 14-7 in favor of Nashua North over Nashua South in the first annual North-South Thanksgiving Day Classic. And it's not quite a classic yet, but a pretty good rushing attack by both teams. We've got North with over 200 yards rushing in the first half, South with over 100. The length of the football field probably doesn't seem that small to the North running attack, because they almost drove it, 77 yards in 13 plays for the go-ahead score, 14-7. We'll recap the scoring for you very quickly. In the first half, if you're just joining us, North went off to a 7-0 lead just 2 minutes in, or less than 2 minutes in, a 77-yard run by Lance Bisson. South comes right back. Paul Cowrie, 59-yard run of his own. That's all in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, near the middle of the first quarter and into the second quarter, a long drive. It ends with an Eric Congdon 6-yard touchdown run. That's where we stand right now, 14-7, as the Nashua North Titans will kick off, Bill Hardy. You expect more of the same in the second half, I would imagine. Yeah. We've got a little technical problem. Bill's mic is off a little bit. Yeah, I don't hear Bill at all. I'm pressing the cough button now, and we don't. Let's see, Bill Hardy.
I can hear myself now, Tom. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, as I was saying, Tom, as far as Jason Roby's concerned, I don't think he changes a thing. We'll see what Scott Knight's got. He did lose a gifted wide receiver I saw limp across the field with crutches, Tyler Shanahan, a senior. What a tough break, because he is a definite threat in their offensive capabilities to come back in this game, and that's a tough loss.
Well, a 3-yard gain on the play, or a 4-yard gain by Prevost to start off the second half. Another short kickoff. They're trying to keep the ball out of Cowrie's hands, but Southgate keeps getting good field position because of it. 2nd and 6 at the 49-yard line of South. And Cowrie with the football, and right back to make that play. What a tackle there by Sean Reed, the sophomore. Just jumped across and made the play on Paul Cowrie. He had Cowrie's number the entire time.
Yeah, just an inside slant from that defensive end position, and that outside end or tackle did not come down on him, beat the block to the inside, and wrapped up the speedy Paul Cowrie pretty well.
It'll be 3rd down now and 12 at the 43-yard line. Back to throw. It's the senior starting the quarterback, Farrader, and he almost throws an interception. It was right in the hands of Ryan Hayford, and he just couldn't hold on to it. The defensive back for Nashua North, and it's incomplete.
Little curl pass out to Steve Paquin, and Chris just lets it go a little high and overthrows his receiver.
But here you go. They're trailing in the football game, Billy. They're going to have to do something a little different offensively. And that's what they're going to do. They're throwing the football.
Well, I think a lot of people have thrown the football against both of these teams all year long. And another, boy, tough punting today. Drew Blaska, the senior, who's kicked the ball very well in the first half, mimics Billy Monson's effort in the first half and kicks a pop-up, and North takes over in great field position.
Right. Boy, that's a punt of 9 yards for Nashua South.
Really negates the good field position they got on the kickoff, and if you're going to play field position, you got to be able to pin those teams deep. Kicking game is so important in high school football.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line for the Titans, their own 48. Congdon, the quarterback.
Serge Filino, the tailback, on a very short gain. Funny, North comes out in a pro I set and tries to run the ball right at Nashua South, and
it worked in the first half.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't go back to that 3-back set.
Well, 2nd down and 9, 10:08 to play, 3rd quarter, 14-7. North is up.
Double tight end, power I backfield.
Bisson, who had a long run in the first half, gets across the 50 and down to the 47. Nice run by Bisson. Didn't have a whole lot of room, but he made the most of it, and it's going to be a 3rd down now for the Titans.
Nice play by senior captain Ryan Flynn on defense, not chasing the fake to the open side of the field. Stays home on the short side and wraps Bisson up.
Gain of 4 on the play. He now has 113 yards on 9 carries. If he had 113 carries, that would be a story.
He'd eat well.
3rd down and 5 at the 47 of Nashua South. Looks like a busted play. Either that or Congdon was trying to do something fancy, and it doesn't work as he's wrapped up for a loss.
Yeah, really starting to circle the wagons a little bit here for North offensively. Really tightening up, shoe to shoe on the up front, and that play shows just what they're trying to do. They're just trying to open up the middle. another.
Yeah, that does it for them. Opening up the middle gets Bisson to the outside and gets that space out there, but Al Neville has adjusted that way to try to shut that down. And Cowrie again lets this punt by Munson go. It's going to go into the end zone.
Yeah, another pretty nice play by Paul Cowrie, really, to avoid picking that ball up down deep, and
gains himself 17, 18 yards almost by not doing that. So the South Panthers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line, their second possession of the second half. 8:38 to play here in the third quarter, 14-7 in favor of Nashua North.
Officials talking right now about possible spotting of the ball. Looks like we may have a repunt.
We have a flag on the play. What would the flag be?
Block in the back on the return. Looks like they're going to go back 10 yards. Tommy, 1st and 10 from the 10.
That's the first penalty on Nashua South all day.
Yeah, been a pretty good mistake-free ball game.
1st and 10 now at the 10-yard line, so it's backed up. And boy, Billy, for an offense that doesn't throw the ball a lot, to be backed up like this, you really basically have to run your way out of it.
Yeah.
There's going to be a little bit of Paul Cowrie, I think, after they try to establish the inside.
Billy Ferreter, quarterback.
Well, Ferreter's going to run the football, and Ferreter cuts across the 13 to the 14-yard line. Nice run by Ferreter. Doesn't look as though the Titans were set up for that kind of a play.
All right, a little quick snap, trying to catch them napping a little bit. And boy, I'm impressed by the confidence that Scott Knight has in this young freshman. But he told me at practice during the week that he wasn't going to waste his kid's time. He was going to get him in the ball game and let him show his stuff. This is the future of Nashua South. He's Billy, only a freshman, and boy, you have to go way back to I think Damian Thomas played a little bit as a freshman in 1997. That was about the last freshman I can remember starting in a varsity game.
There he goes again. He's across the 20 for a first down, all the way out to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Titans is Billy Ferreter coming in and gives him a spark.
Well blocked up front, too. McQuaid, Lippert, Flynn, Rogalski, and Whitaker moving some bodies around out there, left to right. Might as well throw in Kevin Gillis and Brett Wilcox, too, the tight ends, because in this offense, they're an extension of that tackle box, and they're attaching to North defenders and just pushing.
1st and 10 on the 24. Cowrie in motion takes the handoff to the right side. As you see, he gets tripped up. And there you see an example of what the coaches were talking about to me earlier in the week. Got a lot of players going both ways now. They never had before because Lance Bisson had to make the tackle on that play.
A whole new concept for both of these teams, Tom. We were always proud, really, of the fact that we're allowed to, we encourage to play at 22 different players. But you just can't be competitive in Division I without having your best athletes on the field, and this is how it's going to be for a number of years here.
Cowrie got 3 before the stop by Bisson to be 2nd down. This is Prevost, and Prevost gets out to the 30-yard line, close to the 30, the 29. He got about 2 yards on the play.
I think they've running over Keith Whitaker and Paul Rogalski, the sophomore and senior, respectively, in there. Even though they're on the short side of the field, I think Scott Knight likes that, his offensive right side as compared to his left, because predominantly they've been going that way all day long.
3rd and 5 at the 29. You figure with Ferreter and Cowrie, you got a couple of good players who can get free. Let's see who has the ball on the running play. It's going to be Ferreter across the 30 to the 34-yard line. He's close to a first down. It all depends on the spot. They may have to measure. He's very close.
He's close. It looks from here like he's about a half a yard shy, but that's worth a measurement. But this pin this deep in your own end, Tom, I think you're not at a crucial time situation right now.
So you
and I think you got to punt the ball away.
And that's what they're going to do. They don't even measure. They're a half a yard shy. Boy, coach's eyes from up top, Billy Hardy.
Drew Blaska in to do the kicking, the senior, and a much better effort than the last time.
There we go, all the way down to the 35-yard line. It's down at the 36. That is a 40, let's see, 21.
Adam Collier on the downing of the punt. Nice job for him. Don't let the ball bounce backward. Control it. Nice job by the senior.
And North will take over first and 10 at their own 36-yard line. 5:33 to play here in the third quarter. 14-7, the Titans with the ball and the lead.
Tommy, you know what? It's been a clean ball game. Not many penalties. That's always a sign of a well-coached. Both these teams, very well.
I'll tell you what else it's a sign of in a second. It's first and 10. Bisson with the carry goes inside out to the 38-yard line, maybe the 39. I think it's a sign that these two teams don't really hate each other yet. I really do. I really do. I think it's a sign that these two teams, there's no late hits, there's no cheap shots.
Well, I think if you study both of them, I think both these coaches have a pretty good thumb on these kids, and yeah, maybe the real hatred rivalry hasn't developed yet.
Yeah, I mean hate in quotes.
They're both playing very hard.
Second and 7 from the 39. Store across the 40 to the 41-yard line. And clock keeps running. 4:49. Quick third. 4:49 left to play. Both teams twice. Both kept it basically on the ground. And of course, Ferreter didn't start the game either at quarterback, so now we've got a whistle. And you see a timeout or a lineup offsides. I didn't see a flag. It's a timeout, and we'll take a timeout. Timeout, Nashua North. 4:18 to play, third quarter. The score: North 14, South 7. First annual North-South Turkey Bowl will be back in a minute. And we're back here at Stello Stadium. Sergey Filino carries for Nashua North, and he only gets about a half a yard, so it'll be fourth down, and we're going to see another punt, 4th and 4.
Nice, real nice defensive play. Ryan Flynn and Randy Dabney both in on that tackle. Take Sergio Filino down. Said we're back in punt formation.
Titans haven't really tried to run wide that much in this second half. There's a punt by Munson taken, this time by Cowrie at the 20s, wrapped up very, very efficiently on the play by Justin Bartolo. He was right there and just wrapped him up and threw him down.
Real nice punt coverage by the young Bartolo. Had an older brother, the captain here a few years ago, Johnny Bartolo, now over at the University of New Hampshire, and boy, that was very well played by him.
A 43-yard punt by Munson. No real return, maybe a loss on the return. First and 10, Chris Ferreter is now back out into the 15-yard line, or 16-yard line. Cowrie with the football across the 15 to the 20.
That's kind of a reach sweep. Paul Cowrie, when he gets that ball that deep in the backfield, really has the ability to go anywhere from A-gap to D-gap on that side. That time he chose to step back inside, try to let a little bit of that over-pursuit get outside. But a nice play inside by Benny Freeland to shut that down.
Second and 6, the ball just shy of the 20-yard line. 2:57 to play as the clock ticks down here in the third quarter. That's somebody whose number we haven't called before. That's A.J. Marcotte. Marcotte slides his way across the 25 to the 26-yard line, a run of almost 6 yards.
He's a backup fullback, or has been all year, a junior behind Nate, another junior, Nate Boyer. And I saw Nate at halftime being wrapped up by trainer Jerry Holland, and I'm not quite sure if Nate Boyer is going to be back in offensively in this ball game.
3rd and 1 at the 26-yard line. Big play here for North. And a handoff to Prevost. He barely held on to the football and is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a yard on the play, and it's going to be 4th down.
Boy,
3 possessions, 3 punts coming up for the Panthers.
And very, very good defensive plays by captains on both teams. That time, the captain from Nashua North, Benny Freeland, blows weak side A-gap, and it's all over the ball carrier just as he gets the ball.
A-gap, B-gap. We got football talk up here in the booth. And there's a nice punt down to the 37-yard line where North will take over 1st and 10. A minute 42 to play here in the third quarter.
And Nashua North very happy with the way this ball game's going.
No kidding.
field position, ball control, and I'll guarantee you'll see him come back in here, and Eric Congdon staying with what has worked for them up so far. A power I set, 2 tight ends, and just really letting those big bodies up front lean on some white defenders, and they'll be happy with 3 yards and a cloud of dust.
I think Jason Roby is going to go home and have turkey with no gravy and maybe a piece of bread next to it and a glass of water. That's his Thanksgiving Day meal. No spice, no nothing. Straight vanilla in this game right now as Bisson rolls through, and he picks up a good yardage on that play.
I watched what Roby ate for breakfast, and that's about all he could force in his body, to tell you the truth, after what he ate.
Is that right?
My gosh.
Oh, did he pound it down, did he?
Oh, he's surprised. I don't know if he was trying to impress the other staff or what, but he was doing Scott Knight type eating there.
Oh, no. Second and 5, 5-yard gain by Bisson, the ball at the 42-yard line. Oh, and a quick dive handoff. Nice misdirection. Congdon's getting a little bit better at that misdirection with his handoffs.
Yeah, you bet. It's key. You know what it's doing, Tom? It's keeping those Nashua linebackers at home. They have to respect the cross-buck series that's going on here by Eric Congdon, and giving a second back through, Serge Filano following his fullback, Billy Munson, and picking up some positive yardage.
He got 6 yards, and that's good enough for a Titan first down. First and 10, their own 49. Second back through is Bisson. He's got a hole. He's across the 45 in Nashua South, down to the 43.
Boy, just really executing very well here offensively, and getting a great push up front from the big fellas. And Lance Bisson, nobody touched him till he was 6 yards down the field. And
he got 9.
I think Al Neville's going to welcome this stoppage and play in 15 seconds to get this defense regrouped.
I tell you, my voice will welcome it too, because there's just been straight handoff, straight handoff, straight handoff, straight handoff.
Yeah, it
hasn't been any stoppage of clock.
I don't think they've gotten to page 2 on the playbook yet, that's for sure.
I don't think so. That'll be it for the third quarter. Wow. No scoring in the third, and we've got a score on the board, though. It's 14-7 in favor of Nashua North. 12 minutes to play here in the first annual North-South Turkey Bowl. We'll be back right after this with the final period of play. And we're back at Stello Stadium. First play of the fourth quarter. Tom King along with Bill Hardy. Second down and 1. Going right through the line is Billy Munson, and he's caught for a touchdown. No flags. And that'll be a Titan touchdown.
One play, Al Neville told us pregame, Tom, he had to stop the fullback trap, and right out of a timeout, they spring it, and Billy goes untouched. About 41 yards for the score, and the senior is having a heck of a ball game today.
Oh, he sure is. 42 yards on that run. That gives him 71 yards on the day. Point after attempt coming. It's up. It's going to be short. No good. But still, North on the board, and that makes South's job much tougher. 20-7 in favor of the Titans. We will be back with the kickoff and the first play from scrimmage for Nashua South right after this. Well, if you didn't see it live, we'll tell you about it. A squib kick, and they're trying to keep their hands out of Paul Cowrie, and they got it into the hands of an up man, and the ball was just kind of rolling and barely touched, and they couldn't pick it up. And all of a sudden, Nashua North's Charlie Matson dives on the football, recovers it, and now the Titans have a 1st and 10 after the turnover on the third South fumble of the day. They have it 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
times when those kids that aren't used to handling the ball handle it.
Well, Bisson is used to handling. He turns the corner across the 20 down to the 18-yard line, maybe the 17.
Running hard too. He wants the football in his hands, and they can smell it at North right now. This is you know, going into this game, some people called it a coin toss, but you know,
I thought Southwood is a better team overall completely.
With their earlier win and the 3 wins compared to 1 going in, you had to lean that way. But I tell you what, this North team came to play today.
Boy, did they ever. 138 yards on the ground for Bisson right now already. First, second and 3 into 17. Chipunde, and he crosses the 10, the 5, and he's in for a touchdown. The Tendai Chipunde. Wow.
Big guys up front, Tommy, really starting to put some pressure on the South defense. Leaning on them, staying in that tight formation, going outside one way, coming back the other way. What a great thrill for a young freshman, boy.
Unbelievable. Right off the turnover, it took him 2 plays. Right after attempt. Get a little delay.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to take a timeout by the North program
That's their
here.
second one this half, so they only have 1 left.
I don't think it's going to be a huge concern to these kids. No block for the kicker, and after missing the last one, it's something that Coach Roby wants to make sure it's get everybody in the right spot here.
The lineup Beretta again, but what a run by Chifunde. You were looking for him to break out in this game, and boy, he did. For a freshman to score in this game, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a big thrill for a young man to score in a varsity football game on Thanksgiving Day. And Jason had told me at practice he was sprinkling them in the lineup while I was watching the practice the other day, and he said, you know, Coach, this kid's going to be a good one. And he's got 2 young backs down there. Another one, Anthony Williams, that's a good-looking freshman that's going to be in the backfield for them for quite a while. And Serge.
Well, getting ready to kick now is Beretta. Up and good. 27-7. What was the atmosphere at the South practices this week?
Oh, well, those guys, you know, the coaches there are, I mean, that's traditionally always been a strong program. They're not going to back up. Their kids practice hard. They were giving me a hard time about, they go outside every day, and I was never one to take the kids outside. If a cloud blew in front of the sun, I was headed indoors.
That's what I did when you did that. I love doing it. Let's take a time out here. 11:30 to play. Game 27-7 in favor of Nashua North. Right to this. Back at Stello Stadium, we don't have a screen on our monitor, but we are back here, told by the producers. I hope you have a screen as you're watching.
That's okay. It's been a very similar picture all day long, Tom. You know,
right.
Offensively for North, just old-fashioned.
And now Fariner will try to throw the ball, and it's incomplete. Yeah, we don't have a screen on our monitor. It is blank, but we certainly have football in front of us as Chris Fariner throws the ball deep. I would imagine now, would they keep the senior in, Billy, or down by 20 points?
I guess so. I think you want to let the kids, you know, this has always been a tough part for the coaches to look at the future and at the same time let the seniors play their last football game. And you're always torn over that fact. Tried to run Joey Lopez up the sideline, and Chris Fariner just overthrew him a little bit. Now Billy back in the ball game.
Now Fariner comes back. He's got the football. He cuts across the 40 to 45. Still on his feet. Nice run all the way out to the 48-yard line. A gain of 13 by Billy Fariner.
Real nice. Young man that, as the coaches have said, has a whole lot of ability. And
he's got 30 yards and 5 carries, 6 yards a carry.
Going to stay with here. I thought they'd go to an alternating quarterback, so they can stay with Billy Ferreter. He's got a great arm too, so he can bring them back in this thing quickly.
1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 48-yard line. They bring it back quickly, but they've got to do it 3 times. Ferreter again, and there he goes. You're right. Ball's loose. Titans have it.
Wow. Penny Freeland punched out by a host of kids. Kendall Reyes, one of them, coming off the sideline, getting high fives from Coach Roby. Boy, it was almost a mistake-free first halftime. I know each team had a fumble, but the second half has been dominated by North.
With the turnovers.
Charlie Matz, the senior, now in a quarterback for North, replacing Eric Congdon.
1st and 10 and a flag down. Usually when a new quarterback comes in, there's usually some kind of alignment change and a flag is thrown. That's what happened here.
Yeah, cadence, different in cadence, and it's going to be called for a procedure against North. That is always tough for the center too. You get a different feel underneath there, different cadence call, and sometimes the first thing you want to do as a quarterback is make everybody aware that you are in the game and that you are different from the last guy.
The back in this football game, 2 teams.
Brad Masur on the same thing, on that little misdirection out of the power eye and following Billy Monson up through a nice gain on first down.
Yeah, he gets across to back to the 46, right near the original line of scrimmage, so he gets 5 yards back. Does Brad Masur. 8 players carrying the football for Nashua North today. The Titans are certainly showing the look of their mascot, who's got the sculpted body. They're flexing their muscles. Masur again, and this time he slips and falls forward to the 46, just gets back basically to the line of scrimmage.
Clock, an enemy of South right now, and North very happy to do exactly what they're doing right now. Chew that thing up, stay on the ground, stay in bounds, and work for field position here.
3rd down and 11, the ball at the 45-yard line. 9:34, as Billy said, to play in this football game. The clock, the enemy of Nashua South. And Filano gets across the 45 to the 40, just shy of the 47. They call it the 46. And we'll have the punting unit on for the Titans, who, by the way, in this football game, this is going to make Bill Hardy just cringe, have not attempted a single pass on the day.
They have single-handedly set football back 50 years. Congratulations. Our window pass, one of Nashua's great quarterbacks in the past, Danny Paul. He might be leaving early too. He hasn't seen a pass in this game.
The ball hits the referee on the punt. At about the 40, close to the 40-yard line.
That last series, pretty good series for the South defense.
Yeah, it was. They had to come up big. Yeah.
Still playing very hard. Nashua North got themselves into a 1st and 15 situation with the penalty, but a pretty good defensive stand by the kids. You always like to see that at this point in the game. You know, somebody not rolling over. The kids have been coached by Al Nell. They're going to play.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line for the Panthers. Joey Lopez across the 40, cuts back to the 44-yard line, dives ahead to the 45. Run by Lopez, stayed on his feet, close to a first down, probably a gain of about 8.
Coaches love him. They're just an all-American boy type kid, Tom, and heading for the Air Force Academy. He wants to head for the Air Force Academy as a current junior, but already has his sights set quite high.
He gets 8 yards out to the 45-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Clock ticking, 8:04 to play in the football game. Billy Ferreter has the football. He's got room to run. Has a first down across the 45, 40, all the way down to the north 35, 34-yard line. Nice run by Billy Ferreter. No one was in that area.
Nice play designed by Dave Jackson, the co-coordinator with the South team. Letting Calorie run torpedo motion and letting Billy keep the ball. Picks up a good chunk of yardage. Come back with the run. You don't see that much in the fourth quarter.
No, you don't.
But you know what, Tommy? On the same note, you have to do what you're good at, and this is what they've liked. They've liked this zip sweep all year long.
23-yard run by Ferreter, and now Prevost has the football, and Prevost stays on his feet as the Titan defense with a 20-point lead kind of loosens up, and Prevost is taking advantage of that, and he runs for a first down.
I agree, Tommy. It's kind of sitting back on their heels a little bit, doing a little more catching than they have been. They got to stay aggressive. You don't ever give a team a chance to get back in one of these things.
Prevost runs for 14 yards, so 57 yards on the 57 yards on the last two carries. Now Cowrie with the ball. Cowrie goes to the 10-yard line. Cowrie just has only got 8 carries in this football game.
Well, is he deceptive?
Yeah, he is.
He doesn't look like he's going full speed, and all of a sudden he's leaving a trail of blue shirts behind him. He's got a gear that you just don't see in a lot of backs.
It's the strangest 8-yard carry you ever saw. It just didn't seem like 8 yards.
It didn't look good developing, did it?
No, it didn't. 2nd and 2 from the 10-yard line. Ferreter now, he's got no one on that side. He's going to run the football across the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. First down and goal for the Panthers.
Hey, don't go home yet, folks.
Don't go home, and if you are at home watching this, don't turn it off, because we've got 6.5 minutes to play, and Nashua South is looking like they're going to cut it to 2 touchdowns or less.
All of a sudden, they have found something that's working, and going to the outside between Ferreter and Calorie and Joey Lopez. Josh Prevost with a nice run in there, and
timeout on the field. Let's take a timeout if we can with 6:22 to play. It's 27-7 in favor of Nashua South. Be back with the final 22 right after this. First to goal at the 5. Cowrie rambles in, and there you see him getting up. It's a touchdown for Nashua South. And Billy, your mic is off once again, but all right. We're back. Go ahead. Talk about Paul Cowrie.
Paul Calorie showed us another side of his running ability there, Tom. Taking the ball from Billy Ferreter and just jamming on the brakes and showing some power from the 5-yard line on in, and gets in the end zone. And hey, I'm telling you, this thing is not over. Don't you go anywhere right now. It's got a good, maybe a surprise up the sleeve here. I don't know if you're at onside kick time yet, Tom,
yeah, you're 6:17 to play.
I always loved it. I loved onside kicks up 27-14. Nothing wrong with putting on one more nail in the coffin. And kicking game is gigantic in high school football, and I know when Billy Stump coached the kick game at Nashua, boy, we had so much success with it. He did a wonderful job with all 5 disciplines of the kick game. And as an offensive guy, you hate giving the ball back. You hate punting and stuff. But
they're lined up right for it.
They got their hands team out there, and I'm not sure. It might be a little early. I might play one more ball possession type defensive stand here before I went to this.
Well,
I think you might see him kick it deep.
Down 2 scores, I don't know.
Kendall
They're going to go with the onsides, and it's picked up and taken by the Titans.
Ryan Hayford, the safety, kid that's not usually out there on the kick team. Nice, well played by the coaching staff at North. Put your hands team out there, and Hayford comes up with the onside kick. Nice field position for Nashua North.
All right, if they can run the football like they have, they might be able to run out or do some damage on the clock with 6:12 to play.
You bet. It's crunch time here now. Now I think you'll see Al's kids get real aggressive here, jamming inside, and this is going to be tough running for North.
First and 10. Congdon is back at quarterback for the Titans, and Bisson. You're going to see a lot of Bisson and Munson in this drive. He gets across the 50.
You know, we have not talked much about the guys up front today, but Dave Duran and Benny Freeland on that right side just moving by. And sprinkle Scotty O'Neill in there, the tight end, because in that double tight end alignment, you know, when you're shoe to shoe, you're pushing. And the kids on the other side, Forsyth, Chaucier, and Kelly, Cloutier are doing a nice job.
2nd and 6 on the 49-yard line. And it goes to the second back and tied up at the 47-yard line.
The young sophomore running back for North. He's had a good day. He showed some flashes of open field running, and right now at this time, I think you'd rather have the ball in a Bisson or a Monson's hands, because you're looking for leg drive and good north and south running. So
3rd and 5 at the 48-yard line. 5:03 to play. This is a big play right here, because North could really chew up some clock if they can get 5 yards on this play and get a first down. And they're going to go to Bisson in the backfield. He's not going to get there. He dives forward. He got a little more than I thought he would, from the 50 all the way down to the 47, but it looks as if the Titans will have to kick the football, leading by 13 with 4:39 to play in the ball game.
And a good time out here taken by South, save the clock. Very nice defensive stand there by Coach Neville's crew of kids, and led by, you know, the seniors on that group, Randy Dabney and Ryan Flynn. Nice job defensively there. Tommy, in this timeout, let's just say, you know, happy Thanksgiving to Coach Mack. I know I'm taking his job today, and I hope he's here. He a long supporter of Bishop Girton football in this city, and I'm sure he's happy with what's happened over there with the state championship this year. Coach Mack, we miss you up here, and maybe some year we'll get a third headset and you and I can do this thing together.
Yeah, fine year by Bishop Girton, winning the Division II state championship. And, well, unfortunately or fortunately, whichever way you go, they'll be looking to play somewhere in the future on Thanksgiving. We'll see what happens. But right now, this is a big day for the Nashua North Titans. Ooh. Well, what a big win for this program for Jason Roby it would be, don't you think?
You know, in many ways, you look at this as an extension of your spring ball almost, really.
Yeah.
You know, look to what a jump start for that. These kids will go back to school all excited about what right now with 4:29 looks like a win for Nashua North, and you know, good for those kids. They've worked hard. They've had one win all year. He's kept their heads up and kept them focused on planning for the next game, and it's paid off for them here today.
Well, now 1st and 10 at the 17-yard line. The Panthers are deep in their own territory, and they give it to Cowie on the halfback option. He drills the ball. It's going to be knocked down, almost intercepted and incomplete. It was pinballed around. Kendall Reyes, he got a hand on it, and it almost was picked up on the dive by Craig Archibald, but he didn't quite, or by Ben Freeland, I'm sorry, he didn't quite get there.
Yeah, Benny Freeland way deep from his linebacker spot in that coverage, and Kendall Reyes is just a specimen for a 10th grade athlete, and right now more set up as a track kid. I think you'll see him sculpt his body into more of a football body as the years go along, and he's going to be a kid that a lot of schools are going to come take a peek at.
Now Cowrie on the run. It's almost as good as a pass as he breaks through. Cowrie could go. He's across the 50 to 40 to 30. He's going to go all the way. No flags. Ball Cowrie.
Wow.
What a run.
Wow.
That is an 83-yard run. Now, do we have a flag? I believe we do. Yes, it's all the way back at the 10-yard line. And an illegal procedure call on Nashua South. It wipes out an 83-yard touchdown run. No one saw the flag because it was way back on the other side of the field. Unbelievable.
Yeah, unfortunate. You emotionally you run so high and low in these ball games, and something like that could get them right back in it. gets taken away. Hey, Paul Callery, here you go, buddy. Do it again. You know, let's jump back in there and see another one of those. But wow, that's a kick in the teeth right there.
Boy, that sure is. And it was on the side where Callery got the football.
Yeah, you can see the linesman over there on the side, Stevie Hall, trying to explain it to the coaches over on the south sideline. He's a good official, and he's not one to drop him unless he sees something that's blatant. And I'm sure the south coaches will see that on film.
Wow. Second down and 15 instead of a touchdown. It would have made it 27-20 or 27-21 or 22. Instead, it's a second down, and Ferreter is tripped up for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, nice play by Tommy Mulcahy, the defensive end on that side. Gets off his block and chases Billy Ferreter down. Billy tries to make something out of it, but ends up losing 2 yards, and we're staring at 3rd and 18 right now. Tough play call here.
Give it to Callery and see if he can do it again. 3:36 to play in the football game. That's a tough blow.
Yeah, tough.
South. Oh, what a momentum changer. I said no flags because I looked at the whole play. Didn't bother to look behind the line of scrimmage. The flag was sitting on the 10-yard line.
Very late, very deep.
Ferreter with the football, going to throw. It's a bounce pass, incomplete. Now to be 4th down. And will the Titans or the Panthers kick the ball here, or will they just try to go for it?
I don't think you're going to get the ball back, Tom, very many times. I think you have to use the down as an offensive play. I know it's a tough play call, 4th and 18, but with 3:13 left, you really have to you take the ball. And North is you know, they know they're gonna play their normal defensive alignment here. They're not gonna. They won't be fooled by this.
Well, shotgun, Ferreter back to throw. He's going to keep it. He's got some running room, and he's stopped at the 21, short of a 1st down by about 9 yards. So he did a good job, Billy, to get out there and get, 8 or 9 on that, almost 10 yards on that carry.
Yeah, he's...
but still a little short.
Yep, not a bad call. Quarterback draw when linebackers are running back to their curl hook zones and the safeties are dropping back not to get beat deep. Not a bad call, but Billy one less wiggle away from making a 1st down, and that's too bad.
Now the Titans with the 1st and 10 at the south 21-yard line.
Sergi Filano.
No, is going to go in untouched.
Charlie Madsen back in a quarterback for North on that series, and his first handoff, Serge takes it in. Yeah, and you can look at the South kids. They're down the dumps a little bit right now. That did take a lot of air out of their sails.
Oh yeah. That stuck the pin in the balloon. That was like a punch in the face getting that call turned back. 33-14 now.
And a fake on the extra point, Eric Kahn. I don't think a called one by any means. Jason Roby's not going to look for something like this. Eric Kahn scrambling around.
Nope, doesn't get in. Does not get in. So the conversion fails. 33-14 remains the score. We'll take a timeout with Nashua North running away with this one on Thanksgiving Day, 33-14 over their rival Nashua South. Be back right after this. Back at almost said Holman Stadium, Bill Hardy. Back at Stellos Stadium. This is what, the 4th Thanksgiving Day game played here, I believe?
I believe so, Tom. Yeah, what a beautiful venue, too. We had not much chance to talk about anything other than the football game here today, but kudos to the city of Nashua for building such a beautiful facility. This is nice to have a press box with some heat in it, and man, this is
actually don't need any heat today. This is the warmest Thanksgiving Day game I can ever remember. Usually we've had days where we've walked off frozen tundra.
Don't remind me.
First and 10 at the 40. This is Cowrie going wide. The defense is kind of loose, so he's got a lot of running room, and he gets down to the 45-yard line of Nashua North. Yeah, you stopped coaching hockey because you hated the cold, didn't you?
You got that right, buddy. As man, and I usually stop coaching football about November 1st too, outdoors, because I didn't like it.
That's right. You hated it.
Oh,
I used to love you when you'd go inside for your practices. That would give me a break. Not at the freeze when I'd come to do interviews.
I just, I've always thought coaching was an extension of teaching, and I just like the better, when a player's comfortable, he's going to listen to you more intently than if he's out there with his knees banging together and fingers numb. So I never minded going inside. I kind of enjoyed it, and I used to try to make it enjoyable for the players, and that was my point behind staying inside like that.
I've got an injured
I think it might be Brad Masur.
Field. Yeah, he's limping off, and he was injured on the far side of the field, so it's going to take a little while. You see Jason Roby, the South coach, helping him off the field. Jason's got a smile on his face with 2:39 to play. He's going to make a little history of his own with his football team.
You bet. Days like this, when you're on top and you got 2 minutes to go and you're up by 3, you don't mind one bit going out to help the kids on your team.
And if I'm not mistaken, this would be their first win here at Stellos. I think their win against Trinity was on the road. Is that right?
I'm not sure, Tom.
I'm pretty sure it was, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
But it would be to check that. But this would be possibly their first win at Stellos. First home win. First and 10 at the 44, 2:28 to play in the football game. Billy Ferreter, who, boy, we like what we see from this kid. He's going to turn the corner across the 40 to the 40 to the 35, all the way down maybe to the 33-yard line. 11-yard run, depending on where they mark it, or 10-yard run for Billy Ferreter.
Really runs with reckless abandon, and I guess off-season wise, let's chisel that body up a little bit because that's a tough assignment for a quarterback in Division I, to be a running quarterback.
Without the chiseled body, he's got 83 yards on 11 carries.
Well,
but you're right, that is tough. He's going to take a pounding.
Yeah,
he's going to run, so he's got to hit the waiver. Boy, you'd love to see what this kid's going to look like as a senior, wouldn't you?
The future is bright for both of these teams, Tom.
Ferreter this time on a quarterback draw, but right there to play it. He had nowhere to go because North's number 52, Richard Lewis, was right there to make the stop.
Yeah, Richard Lewis just came in the ball game for Brad Masur and makes a nice stop there.
What about the North defense and the jobs that they've done? That's kind of gone unnoticed a little bit in this game by us, but what a job they've done.
Benny Freeland, whose name we've talked about quite a bit today, and Kendall Reyes, the nice-looking sophomore athlete of the North, and a nice scheme by Jason Roby. I mean, it's obvious he spent some time studying film of the South program because he's put together a nice defensive package today.
Well, the football program, maybe he was born today with the way that they've played. I really think that could be the case in a game like this. Josh Prevost is dropped down at the 33-yard line. I really think that this is with less than a minute to play here. This is pretty much the birthday, I think, of the North program with what they've done today.
And I tell you what, Tom, you got young kids sitting in the crowd here that maybe are seeing football for the first time, and this is the first impression these kids are going to get. And it's many times in a high school program when you don't have a winning season, kids don't get attracted to your program, and this is a great shot in the arm for Jason Roby and his crew.
Oh, and back and drop for a loss.
Number 8, young Jeff Kahn, a senior, getting some playing time. Good for Coach Knight. He's got some kids in the ball
kids out there
that have probably been program kids for 3 years, and Jeff Kahn being one of them.
And that's going to do it.
Nice touchdown against Memorial. Wow, big giant win here today for Nashua North.
We're not going to get this playoff, I don't believe, and that will do it. The final score on the first annual North-South Turkey Bowl as the North Titans run out in the field to celebrate. It is Nashua North 33, Nashua South 14. Bill Hardy, it's been a pleasure.
Tommy King, I enjoyed this as much as I thought I would. I've always enjoyed speaking about the kids, and this gives me my outlet to do that. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for joining us. You really helped us out today, Bill, and it's been a pleasure working with you. And you know something? You might be able to give up your day job because you're pretty good at this stuff.
Coach Mack, happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Miss you.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. My thanks to Gordon Jackson and his crew, Carolyn Choate for TV 13. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. For Billy Hardy, I'm Tom King. Final score, it's Nashua North 33, Nashua South 14. Happy holidays, everyone.
Hey, buddy. You too, Paul.
Hey, Gordon.
Turkey Bowls today. A few minutes ago, we showed you the wins by Sauhegan and John Stark. Now to the city rivalries.
Here's your test. Here's your test now. Let's go.
For the first time ever, Nashua North and Nashua South, the Titans of North are in navy blue. Tendai Chifunde runs in a fourth quarter touchdown for North, just a freshman. Remember him, 27-7 North. It looked like South would climb back into the game when Paul Callery ran it in from a long way out, but it was called back for a legal procedure, and that cleared the way for the final seconds to tick off, and North wins the Leashus Trophy, 33-14 over South.
1-3, North. 1, 2, 3, North!
Oh, it means a lot because of the tradition behind the Turkey Bowl beforehand, and with Nashua and Bishop Girton, and now Nashua versus Nashua. It means a lot.
In Nashua, it was a whole new ball game. The Nashua North Titans are a brand new football team, and this is their first Thanksgiving Day game. The Nashua North Titans are playing the Nashua South Panthers in their inaugural Thanksgiving Day clash. Before Nashua High School split, Bishop Girton played in this game. Now, they're the odd team out.
I'm married to a Girton graduate. He kind of boycotted the game today. What are you going to do?
Well, last year there was one team. There were 2 teams worth of kids out there. Think of the opportunities. Football, basketball, every sport.
Traditions have to start somewhere. For these kids, their parents, and the fans, this one started on a muggy Thursday at Stellos Stadium.
You played your hearts out. This one's for you guys. Get up.
In Nashua, Andy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.